Oh man, that's what's up. What's up, man?
Yo,
we in here, man.
We out here.
I don't have any formal layout structure. Absolutely organic.
Sweet. Sounds good.
We just vibing.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here with you, man.
Yes, man.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Yeah, thank you for
come hang
yes.
out, come talk.
Like I'm excited, man. But are you originally from Austin?
Yes. Yes is the short answer. I was actually born in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
And came here basically when I was 3. But all of my family's from here. Like my dad's from here, my grandma's from here. Both my older brothers were born here, so this is like home. My family was basically moving around a little bit when I was born. When I landed. It's like, this one's here now. Grew up here and I've spent most of my life here.
Okay. And you said you went to LA at a point in time.
Yeah, that was pretty recent. So that was over the past 3 years or so.
Yeah.
Been back and forth between LA.
What was in LA?
My girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How? I'm not gonna do that.
I'm open. I'm open. I definitely want to be respectful of her, especially since we are recording.
Absolutely, most definitely. I'm the same way.
To me, I guess I'll be clear if there's anything that I would prefer not to talk about.
Please.
On Lex.
On Lex, for real. Like
on the YouTubes and
the interwebs.
Yeah, on the interwebs.
No, I mean, because I'm the same way, man. Like I think as we experience life, people are part of our story and they're part of our journey. Mm-hmm. And I've now gotten to the point to where I can understand that it's about the learnings and the experiences that we can create in good, bad, beautiful, challenging. And so now it's not so much of like a distaste. And especially when I go into relationships, whether it's romantic or whether it's purely friendships, it's not it's not so diabolical.
Mm-hmm. Totally. That's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
I agree for sure. And so many things. I feel like you're saying, relationships are such a powerful way for us to learn and grow ourselves and to have experiences that cause us to grow and learn about ourselves. And I also, man, it's like I'm always like kicking myself because it takes like 5 minutes before I quote Tony Robbins, and then I'm just like I've just learned so much from that dude. But one of the things that he talks about is how our relationships and our people that we connect with amplify our emotion. Mm-hmm. So it's like to celebrate something yourself or to have a beautiful experience yourself is like awesome, that's great. Yeah. But when we get together and we can then share that celebration with another person, whether it's a friendship or whether it's a romantic relationship or whatever the context of it, like it amplifies that emotion even more. It's like I can vibe out, I can learn some shit, get hyped, but when I can come share with you, and vibe and talk and we can like jam together, amplifies.
I love that amplify. Like that's super dope. Like I agree with them 100%, man. Like I was talking with someone I think just the other day, and we were talking about like just like knowledge and how you can get so much information from reading something or just doing something, but then when you're around other people, it does amplify that whole experience. So I'm with you on that. Like real spill. Where so you mentioned Tony Robinson, you mentioned LA. When you was in LA, did you feel inspired?
There were pros and cons. One of the things that I've been thinking about lately is, so the main reason that I went to LA was for my girlfriend at the time. Basically moved there largely for her, with the understanding of since I'm very passionate about my music business and everything that I'm working to build in terms of my career and my music business, and wanting to do that in the biggest way that I can, in the most helpful way that I can.
I love that. Yeah,
I understand that there are quite a few musicians in LA as well. There's like some of the best, talk about so many different West Coast legends, like all in LA, all kinds of talent, all kinds of creativity. So it was like, my thinking at the time was like, okay, I can go, see where this relationship goes with this person that I love and care about. And also I'll be in a position again to learn and grow and to discover new things and potentially to build with musicians in LA and stuff like that. And so it was multifaceted, but the primary impetus was to be with my lady.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you mentioned, being out in LA, and you said something just a moment ago, it was something along the lines of like contributing in a certain way with your music.
Yeah, trying to be helpful.
Yes. Why? That's interesting. Like, what do you mean by I want to try to be helpful with my music?
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of this idea of just working to be of service where we can, in terms of like, it's not all about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like different ideas related to this, but. I think about it from a number of different perspectives. Like fundamentally, I feel like on a spiritual level, like we're here to serve people in other ways, and it's like when again, I think about like the 6 human needs that Tony Robbins breaks down. So it's like certainty, variety, significance, love, and connection are like the first 4, and then the 2 like spiritual needs are like growth and meaningful contribution. So if we're constantly learning and growing and then adding value to other people in some way, shape, or form, or I would say other life forms, it could be helping with the rainforest, or whatever way we feel called to serve something beyond just ourselves. So that's going to put us in a position to where we are constantly tapped into kind of like higher levels of energy, higher sources of inspiration, like better vibes than just like me, what can I get today? Like, fuck y'all. Like, that's
exactly.
a totally different energy.
I love that though. That's super, that makes me feel good hearing that though. You know what I mean? Like tapping into something that is bigger than yourself. And I think a lot of people would think like philanthropy, charity, X, Y, Z, but but I think from what I got from that, you talk about more like just earth and but not to say that charities or philanthropies isn't that along those lines, but I think that's what we've been conditioned to think about. Sure. And it's like it's deeper than that. It's more than that.
1,000%.
What you had said something else, and I don't want to hold on to something. And
no worries. I'm just here to hang out with you, man, and I'm grateful to be here, and hopefully this is the first of many.
Yes, like, dude, this is like, as I'm watching this record, I'm just kind of like, this is wild. This is so wild. And it's beautiful though. I mean, shout out to the kids crying in the background, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's life. There's life all around. It's a beautiful day out. So the music, and you say you're serious about the music and your music career. When did you first become attracted to like rhythm, words, art? When did all that start for you?
Totally, yes. So I feel like it, probably started with my dad. My dad's a musician and songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. Just played in bands in his life, sings. He's an awesome dude, and I was always playing music growing up. So I feel like that's, as far as this lifetime, that's probably the place where it started. Just been exploring. And also, growing up here, there's always like live shows, live music, all kinds of stuff going on. So I was just a fan, of all kinds of different music growing up, and gradually explored different things. And hip hop is amazing.
Yes,
hip hop is incredible, bro.
Dude, you can rap like you can rap like the first time I saw you do your thing
trying
at
to
Oakland,
get these bars up.
Yes, dude. It was great. I was kind of like, oh, dude can really spit though. You know, like I was like,
thanks, man.
I was really like, I stood up. Azlon, like I stood up, bro.
I saw you vibing. I
was like, yo, my man is out here getting it, cause
grateful.
And I had just moved out here, so I'm like seeing people.
Hell yeah.
You know, cause I love music and hip hop, and I love.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know,
I love your singing voice as well. I'm excited to hear you sing more,
man.
and I like hearing you sing just casually. And you have a beautiful voice, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Of course.
I had a situation with my voice, man. I had always been drawn to music from my family, and you know. I grew up in Arlington, Texas. I'm from Fort Worth, but I grew up in Arlington. And
is Arlington near Fort Worth?
Yeah, actually, cool. Yeah. So it's
forgive my ignorance.
No, you're good. You're good. This is beautiful. It's Dallas, and then there's Arlington, and then there's Fort Worth. And so I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, at 6:53 a.m. At John Peter Smith, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Virgos.
A good day. That's
the day that the world changed. September 18th, 1991.
Hell yeah.
I just turned 30, you know.
Congrats.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you. It's a beautiful thing. But we grew up in Arlington, and you know, music was a part of everything. The arts was a part of everything. From watching movies, the Three Ninjas, to everything just... you know, just combining and shaping like imagination. And so, yeah, man, there was a moment, like I went through school just singing and listening to Motown because my mom had all these CDs and, you know that,
so good, man.
You know, the CD thing, the binder CD.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? And so she had all of those, and we would just listen to music.
Bro.
Classic,
CD
dude.
binder, man.
For real. Like
that brings me back to
not the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole you gotta pull that thing out, dust it off.
After tapes, before Napster.
Yes. You know what I mean?
CD binder.
It's a beautiful I was like, oh my gosh. And I would just listen to CDs all day.
Sounds like she had really good CDs as well, not just any CDs.
Man,
she had
there was a Body and Soul collection.
Yeah,
she had a Body and Soul collection. Tyrese, she had a whole lot of old school, man, like the Commodores, everything from Motown with the and she also had like the Shy Lights and even just like the Gap Band and Stevie Wonder. Oh my gosh,
amazing.
Man. And I remember, but the thing that kind of messed me up was I was singing in the church choir, and I guess I was out of tune, and it scarred me, man. And I guess I was out of tune, and the director was like, "No, Jeremy, like you're not doing it right. You're singing it wrong in front of everybody." And I was in the front row.
That's
and
right.
I remember like just sinking down in my chair, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I couldn't do anything else. I was like. And I disengaged because I was very like, yo,
yeah.
You know.
Oh, I love it.
Like,
yeah.
Kurt Franklin was the one who inspired me to want to sing in the choir. Because I was just like, oh, it's like hip hop-ish, and you can dance, you can do all, you can look cool. And then after that, it was kind of like, after that experience, I was like, And so I've been kind of insecure about it ever since.
It's so hard whenever somebody squashes your enthusiasm, you know, especially if they're like an authority of any nature.
Yeah,
and
it's like mastery. Like the sensei is saying that you're doing it wrong because you're trying to get to at least where
you'll never do karate.
Yeah,
no, but I can do karate though.
You know.
Yeah,
it was fun, man, until that moment.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh man, I was probably just entering high school, if not already in high school. Like early.
Yeah, that's hard.
You know, going through that stage of trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be, but just having fun too, not necessarily taking life so seriously.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also like it's singing.
Yes.
It's like it should be fun.
It's like, yo, my man, chill out. You can't be singing like that. I'm like, I want to go outside now. Like, I don't want to do this. Because I didn't want to do it in the first place, man, because I had always struggled with being in front of people and trying to display any form of quote unquote talent. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to. That was I just couldn't do it. But now, loving music, arts, and all those things, it's like, all right, I'm learning that it'll be against the divine creator to not share those gifts. You feel me? Like,
speak on it.
Like, and I love when you say like to serve, and I know we had a similar conversation, or I think we was getting to that conversation, but I remember talking with Zach, who would host. Him and Jeff would host, and Kai would host over at Opa. Was like when you remove your focus from how am I going to perform X, Y, and Z, and you just focus on serving, the gift will show up for itself.
I feel that way. Yeah, I believe.
So I love when you said that, because that was amazing.
I hear that with speakers as well. You'll hear that with speakers' advice. It's like, don't focus on like how you're gonna like give a talk. Focus on the audience and how you can serve them, how you can find some way to add value, etc., etc. Like what's going on with them? How can you help them as a speaker?
Yeah,
and that can help speakers like get out of their head and into service and in their heart.
See, I love it. I love it. Just even hearing that with doing this is like, yes, what is So why do you do the music that you do as opposed to any other types, sounds, styles of music?
Yeah, good question, and it's always growing and evolving. But man, I do love to rap. I love to rap.
Bro. I mean, you're great at it, dude. For real.
Thank you. I'm doing my best, and I love rhythm, and I do sing as well. But man, yeah, like I'm empathizing with you as well. I remember the first like band that I was in was a punk metal band. And I was like 11.
Okay.
And it was like very like happenstance kind of thing, synchronicity, like whatever language we want to give it. That was a great opportunity that I feel very lucky for, because it got me on the mic early, and I was mainly just screaming.
Yeah.
And so we were playing, I was maybe like 13, 14, and we were playing a show here in town. I was like screaming, with this band, and then like also trying to sing in different parts.
Yeah.
And I remember getting the feedback after a show of like, yo, your screaming sounds really good. Your singing needs to work a little bit. Like, you could probably like, and I was like, oh, word. Like, maybe I'm not great at singing. But I like screaming though.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm wanting to get better at singing in terms of tone, melody, like vocalage, like, all the different elements of singing to... I'm like Otis Redding is one of my favorite vocalists ever, and just what he can do with his voice is so incredible. Like if I could have like 10% of that skill, I'd be super happy.
Dude, if I could have 10% of Jamie Foxx's his voice and sound, I'm like, shout out to Terrell, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's so. What did that?
Incredible.
How did that experience impact you? Like up to this point?
I feel like it's one of those things that's just kind of always been in my mind of like I feel like my ability to rhyme is stronger than my ability to sing. I'm not like great at screaming anymore, so that kind of probably flew by the wayside. Not that I try like that. I obviously don't prioritize it, but. And like I don't know, I say that just because I feel like anything that we want to do, we can do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I'm such a fan of that. So singing is on the list in terms of like things I want to get better at, take more vocal lessons, probably like learn more covers. Like there's so much.
Yeah.
My mind just goes also to learning how to cover a bunch of Otis Redding songs or a bunch of like classic songs that I feel are really beautiful and really like are. Like sung by some of the best vocalists to have ever existed. You know what I mean? Like just trying to like copy the masters to some degree in terms of like building up the skill. I feel like anyway, I just need to put time and energy into it, and haven't not yet.
I dig that though. You say copy. I think when you say copy, I hear study.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean? Like,
exactly.
like when I hear Jeremysbox sing, I'm like, okay, what is he that he's doing? Because essentially, he does the same thing with his acting. He studies the people that he's going to portray. Like when he did Ray, he studied this man to the T. Spent so much time with him, and so it'll be the same thing with the music of spending time with that artist, of like going through their records, their catalog, their life, where they were brought up in, and you know, and just getting that essentially that DNA is what Jeremysbox calls it. It's like I need to extrapolate certain DNA to create the persona of this person in this role. And it's the same thing with I think it's the same thing with music. You know, like you know, people would say the ain't nothing like the old school. Be it that is old school hip hop or that is old school R&B, soul, funk, yada, blues. And people extrapolate that DNA often. It's the foundation of the music that we listen to now. So I dig that, because I'm of the same thread, man. Like I be want to sound like some folks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, definitely. I'm listening to this series. It's by this guy Austin Kleon right now. It's the Steal Like an Artist.
Steal Like an Artist,
series, and he's, you know, there's that quote, like, if you take from one person, that's called stealing. If you take from everybody, that's called research. So it's, you know, similar.
That's good.
Kind of thing.
I like that. I've never heard that one.
Studying so many greats and then distilling your own like remix of that. Through your own individuality.
I mean, so yeah, because it's like, well, then what is inspiration? You know what I mean? It's being, well, I don't know. That's interesting. What is inspiration?
That's a big question.
Yeah, I want to ask you that. Like, what is inspiration to you? Like,
yeah. I was going to say earlier, you were asking why I play the particular type of music that I play. I was also thinking of it in terms of just like why I play music, period.
Exactly.
What I found there is that music is where I get my most enthusiasm. So, and I love this idea. I don't know, do you know Michael Bernard Beckwith at all? Are you familiar with this guy? He's like a spiritual teacher. He's based on the West Coast, but has reached all. I feel like you'd really enjoy him.
What was his name?
Michael Bernard Beckwith. Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. He's epic dude. I'll send you some of his interviews and stuff.
Please do.
I feel like you'll resonate with him. But one of the things that he breaks down is that enthusiasm comes from like entheos, and God. So there's this like divine element of being enthusiastic about something, and so being aware of where we find enthusiasm naturally in our life is related to like following your bliss, like your calling, you know, these various things.
I love it.
And so, you know, just thinking about my life up until now, the moments of highest enthusiasm and some of like the peak experiences that I've experienced have been in music, performing music, producing music, stuff like that. And so I want to, you know, orient my life around that.
That low key just made me emotional. Like I can feel it. I can feel the tears just welling up in my eyes, man. Like I was reading something that was talking about like how spirituality is connected to that is like the most source of, I don't know how to articulate it. It's like that's when you know that you're in alignment with what it is that you are supposed to do or created to do X, Y, and Z, and that's a good feeling.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and that revolves around so many different aspects of what we do. So to hear you say ethos means God?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
And theos.
And
so
theos.
In God. Theos being
and
God.
Theos being God. And God. Okay.
If I'm understanding correctly, you know, I've heard different people like break it down in different ways.
I think the way you said it was really dope. Because I'm like, because that makes sense though. It's like, that what you do is divine. And that's you. Is the purpose. Your purpose is who you are and what you do. And when you experience the most peak enthusiasm. Yeah,
and I feel like that self-awareness, that emotional awareness of like, oh, I'm doing like A and I feel really drained, I'm doing B and I feel lit up and I have like limitless energy. You know, it's like I want to go with B. Yes. That's where my enthusiasm is.
That's a good. I like that.
A is not going to work long term.
And everybody talks about A. Nobody talks about B.
Got it. I'm trying to yell about B, bro.
For real, man. Like, everyone's like, yo, you gotta focus on plan A. Yo, plan A is whack, yo. Like, plan B's where it's at, yo.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Oh, like, so how did, okay, well, I think you probably already answered it. Yeah, I think you already answered. I was going to ask you, like, well, how did you know that it was this and not this? You know, like, because I think there's, I do believe that we are multi-talented in different forms and fashions, but like, how did you know that this was the most enthusiastic when you do this?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it was basically just so one of the things that Michael Bernard Beckwith has put out a ton of different content over multiple years, multiple decades at this point. One of the like programs that he has is called the Life Visioning Process, and it's like this like old CD that I got from like originally like my stepmom, I think, had it, and shout out to PK.
Hey PK.
And one of the exercises that he walks you through, and that is basically like going back from the time that you were a kid and identifying the things that lit you up, or you found interest in, or you found excitement in, things of that nature. So going through processes like that specific one and others similar to it kind of have just affirmed over and over, like, music is the thing for me. That's like, and it's like every time that I talk about it, I get excited, and it's like it just comes from a very like natural place for me. And like now it is reinforced in my mind such that I feel compelled to go all in and use that as the primary vehicle for how I can be of service in the world. And then there's all and to your point, like I do have multiple interests as well, but I feel like I'm a big fan of this idea again from Chase Jarvis of like figuring out what you're passionate about and then becoming a master in that lane, becoming one of the best, becoming the best that you can be in terms of like closing the creative gap, between like what you see in your mind and what you're actually creating. Like mastery is when you can actually create the thing that you see in your mind, and whether it's photography or music or, theater or physical devices or, whatever it is. So I want to gain like musical mastery to a like, to where I feel like, okay, I have the song, I can do it. I can make this happen. Yeah.
But it's not necessarily, cause you said to be the best, but it's not necessarily about like against other people. It's to be the best within yourself. Running my own race kind of thing. Running your own race, because from what you're saying is how can I be of service to someone, to the world, to the people around me, and that is in the form of mastering myself.
Yeah, and mastering my craft such that, so I feel like with music specifically, like if there is inspiration that I feel, or like, and I guess with my music specifically, it's like I really want to help inspire people,
Absolutely.
And like energize people, uplift people, help them have some kind of like emotional, psychological transformation of some sort through the music, and like, and so that's a big part of the value that I want to add, I guess, to people's lives. And then I say all this to say, like, this idea that I was introduced to from Chase Jarvis is basically like, once you become a master in your lane, in your craft, then you can connect with other people who are other masters in their lanes. And then what I want to do is connect with as many like people who are really crushing it in their fields, who are like values aligned, so that we can help shift things for the better in the world.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. How has your experience been so far with knowing that this is where you feel the most enthusiastic about life, and how's the journey been so far up to this point?
It's been really good.
Yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
a lot of ways. So I say that I'm multiple interests. Another big interest of mine is health, and it relates to the concept of like state from Tony Robbins. And so basically like the kind of like foundationally a big thing that I've learned from Tony Robbins is that your state it's basically like your physical and emotional place that you're in, psychological, spiritual as well.
Yeah.
And we can be in places where, but the link between our bodies and our emotions is really strong, because physically we have all of this biochemistry that can shift based on what we're thinking about, what we're feeling, what we're eating, what we're drinking, all of the different things. And so learning, I'm a super nerd about working to keep myself in a like vibrant state or in the best state that I can, as often as possible, because that directly makes me enjoy my life more.
100%. 100%. How do you do that?
Yeah. So for me, it's healthy habits, and I want to like what I call healthy habits, and I want to make a course on this because I feel like it would be helpful to people because I'm such a nerd about it, and I just like am very dedicated to these things in my personal life, and they help me a lot. So you ask, how do I do it? For me, it's mainly like six or seven habits. It's pretty basic, but altogether, like it makes me feel really good. It's just like rest, meditation. I throw like breath work into that as well. So I don't know if you're familiar with like Wim Hof breathing and stuff like that.
This is divine, bro. This is divine. Rod was telling me. Are you familiar with Rod?
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 Yeah.
So Rod recorded my the poem that I spit, and then he told me about this food truck, and then he was telling me about breath work, and I meant, oh man, yes, okay, so meditation, rest, breath work,
so those three: rest, breath work, meditation, eating healthy food. Like for me, that's like a lot of plant-based foods, leafy greens, stuff like that. People have their preference of protein. It's like just getting the micronutrients as well as the macronutrients, and
So speaking on that, the guys that I met the other day was telling me about that too. About like eating leafy greens, leafy foods, green foods, and then vegetables and fruits with the seeds in it, and things that are like that are not created. You know what I'm saying? But it's organic, yada yada, non-GMO, X, Y, and Z. And like this dude, shout out to Devo and Johnson, who are really good friends of Rod as well, who are vegan, and I'm trying to embark on this. I'm not trying because Rod was like, he said that if you're trying, you're lying, or you're. So it's like I'm practicing veganism, and I feel the difference, and it's a journey, but I am definitely trying to practice being mindful of what I put in my body, and then also, and obviously the things that I don't know about trying to like alkaline living or alkaline health and vibrating higher, So rest, meditation, breath work, plant-based foods, essentially.
Yeah, so those four, and then I would say to continue exercise, big fifth one, and then the last two that I feel like are like basic but solid. And I think about these things like if I do these things every day, I'm going to be in a better state. If I don't do these things, if I don't do any of these things, I'm probably going to feel like shit all day.
Yeah.
But like those five, so rest, meditation. I would kind of throw breath work in with meditation. It's like very linked in my mind.
For sure.
Rest, meditation, exercise, eating healthy food, and then connecting with the people that we love, and then doing what we love. So like I'll say those six with breath work and meditation kind of being like in the same camp in my mind. Just to try to simplify.
Yeah. I love that though. And connecting with the people that you love. What is that like, bro? Like
That's the best, man.
That's the best.
I feel like that's a big part of why we're here. Yeah, like getting to kick it with you today is awesome.
Yes.
I think about my dad as well, and I have two older brothers.
Yeah.
A stepmom, stepsister.
Yeah.
My stepsister's daughter, niece.
Yeah.
And a big family as well, and then a lot of chosen family, close friends, stuff like that.
Chosen family, yeah. I love that phrase.
And there are a lot of. I feel very lucky that there are a lot of beautiful people that I get to know and get to connect with. Like I love people.
Yeah,
I really love people a lot, and. If I can, connect with one of my brothers every day, or connect with, my dad, another day, or connect with close friends another day. It's like that. We're social creatures, so that not only in the day, makes me more energized, or makes me feel more just uplifted in some sense, but also long term. There's like long term. Healthy relationships that we build are like the most valuable thing in life.
And I love that. I really love that, especially with family and connecting with the people that you love, and healthy long-term value. How do you define healthy relationships, like with those that you love?
I would say people that respect your boundaries, and people that are supportive to you in some way. Nobody's perfect, but I feel like. Excuse me.
Yeah, let it out.
as we are, as we become more self-aware and are better at identifying and creating and communicating our own boundaries. Then I feel like, man, it's like I feel like if we're like taking care of ourselves, practicing these healthy habits, and then we can bring that charge or that
frequency,
high energy, that frequency to the people that we love, and then add value to their lives in some way while respecting our own boundaries. I feel like that's just going to set us up for a good situation. I love it. And then I feel like when things are unhealthy, could be when people are, projecting their own negativity onto us, when they are trying to not respect boundaries. Like, that's not going to work with me. I'm going to need to back up, give this person space, and respect and love, and take my space.
Ooh, I love that. And respect, love, and take your space. Ooh, oh man, because it's so interesting to learn how to do that now, because coming from a upbringing where that wasn't necessarily advocated for or presented. It was just like, nah, man, you don't have no space. You know what I mean? Like, this is my house. And so now with the
I feel you. That's hard. That's hard.
And trying to learn that now.
Now you got space.
Yeah, now I got space.
Now you got space, bro.
Like, so I'm trying to make sure that my feng shui is loving and like peaceful.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because I'm learning about
I feel like you're doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Thank you, man. Like, there's so much that I'm learning. There's so much that I don't know, but there is so much that I do know. Like, I think so many people don't want to say that they know a lot of stuff. And it's like, no, you know a lot. And it's like I'm trying to be mindful of, like, yes, I know a lot, but I also am very mindful that, like, I don't know enough. And you feel me, like, and going back into
let's go
being a student and absorbing and learning and asking questions and studying and being around people that you can learn from. Man, it's really important. And so I love that you say that about, like, being around people that you love. And also being mindful of the boundaries, and then that taking care of yourself first, and then that frequency and that energy that would translate over. I believe in that so much, man. Like, I'm also studying up on, like, law of attraction, manifesting. Like, I had already been kind of put on game to that, like, a few years ago, and something I'm also reading about right now is human design. Are you familiar?
A little bit. I haven't really dove into it. Tell me about your experience with it.
Just yesterday, dude. A friend of mine put me onto it. I'm a generator. I'm a generator, and I'm a responder as opposed to initiator, which makes sense because, oh man, I'm gonna try not to rabbit trail, but it's like, which makes sense.
Go for it, yeah.
I respond. I'm best to respond to things in the world and to experiment with things in the world than to initiate things in the world. And I've found myself trying to initiate things all throughout my life for the experience of other people, but also for my own experience too. Like if I'm out and about and I want to have a beautiful experience, like I recognize that, and then I try to create the experience. And oftentimes it's me, feeling good, but I feel good from when people connect with other people that are different from them and they learn from them. Like I love that.
It's dope.
And I was also thinking about this morning, it was just like, I don't have to force anything. I don't have to force trying to be in front of people. I don't have to force people's attention, validation, because the light and the energy that's within me is going to gravitate people. It's going to pull people. So just be me. Just be yourself.
Yes.
Love
this. Yeah.
And it's so crazy because it's like because there's things that is trying to be put into our minds to say that if you be you, you're not going to be attractive or appealing.
Fuck that.
You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
I'm trying to hear none of that.
And it's like when you are being yourself, you attract I believe you attract the things that you are supposed to attract. When you are being yourself. When you're not being yourself, you're gonna attract some shit that you don't need to have.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? 1,000%. That's beautiful though. Be yourself. You attract the things that you're supposed to have.
You got it, man. Yeah.
Yo. I might put that in the poem. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the poem.
Yeah. I love it.
And it's 222.
It's so powerful.
It's 222. That's divine.
Make a wish.
That's divine, man. 6. Yo. Yeah. And I'm making this in numerology too. Like numerology, astrology, and just because a lot of people have been talking about it, and I've stepped a little bit into it to explore and to study into. I look at it as helping me better understand not only myself from different perspectives and different knowledge and information, but also just like how I can best love not only the world but most importantly myself. It's so weird because it's like the world will try to tell you, not the world, man will try to tell you that you are not enough. Like the world, the world is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't trying to harm me.
Yeah.
It's the evilness of, I think it's the evilness of people who try to control, dominate, oppress, take away. It's the things that try to destroy, that are destroyed.
I feel you.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. I think about this a lot in terms of like the you call them like systems of control or the various kind of like to me it feels like there are like historical like groups of people that have controlled a lot of power.
Absolutely.
And there's, at least my impression of it is that there's like the fear of needing to maintain that power, and so there's this active like oppression of people that are perceived to be different or other or separate or things of that nature. And it's fucking whack. And I feel like it's also like, so I think about like all over the earth right now, and like all of the major countries, there are similar kind of like power dynamics in the various countries around the world, but I just like can't help but feel that is a much smaller like power in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. Like you talk about the world naturally supports us. There's a certain element of humans as we're showing up today that is trying to make us think that we're not enough, or we don't have what we need, or we should be afraid, or XYZ. That's more of a limiting belief.
It makes me think, like, what is it trying to keep us away from?
Man, I think about. Did you ever see like the last Harry Potter, where there was like Voldemort like under the like bench, and he was like,
no,
okay.
I wanted to catch up with Harry Potter.
No worries. I bring that up just basically like I feel like it's like a fearful like self-preservation mechanism for that like political elite or whatever the group is that's in more of a narrow-minded place. Mm-hmm. Is how I feel about it, because the way that I feel, at least, is that like we are all a part of everything. We are like that. The illusion of separation is an illusion. We are all naturally connected, and that there's this way where we can coexist and collaborate and thrive together, and that we don't need these like old systems of like the king being rich and everyone else being poor. Right.
I love that 100%, and I agree with that. We was having that conversation the other day because we were talking about chess and how even the fact. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me finish that thought. And how chess and the king and the queen and with the main guy that's running everything is like he said, like it's the Pope, and that he's the only one that's not on the board.
That's wild.
So it's the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have like the people that's the pawns and the kings and the knights, and the bishops and the rooks, and these people, what they mean in our world that we can understand as like the military, the police, the lawyers, the judges, and blase, and how those interactions influence the people of today, and because I was even thinking about like, why is it still like sports? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, like growing up, it made sense. Like, oh yeah, I love basketball, but then I got to a point where it was just kind of like, well, I want to start doing other things because this isn't just the only thing in my life. Because I've been an artist since I was a kid, like sitting out on the grass, looking up at the sky, contemplating. Figuring, just observing life and like, I feel this force that they call wind, but I can't see it. Like stuff like that. I was just like,
nature is wild.
Yeah, but it's like that's good.
But I mean that also in the mystical sense, in terms of like, nature is wild.
Yeah, it's dangerous and it's beautiful and it's and it's not supposed to be the way it's gone thus far with man. I've been trying to open myself up to understand the things that I've been trying to make space for me to unattach myself to things that was taught to me that does not make fucking sense.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then because
that's a bar, bro. I love that. I'm about it.
You know what I'm saying? You can have that, bro. You can have that.
Because again, like to me, it goes back to this dynamic of like, there's bullshit that's constantly being directed at me.
Absolutely.
I know that's bullshit. I'm gonna curb that,
yeah.
And then I'm gonna find this divine energy and soak as much of that in as I can and create from that place.
They talk a lot about the water.
Yeah.
Like a chick I ran into the other day as well at the food truck, talking with the like when she walked up, she was a sister. When she walked up, she had looked back at us, and I was just like, hi, she waved, and then she went and she sat behind us, and so we were just really just going in with this conversation, and I just kept, I don't know, man, I think the energy or the frequency was just kind of like, I feel like she should be a part of this conversation. And so she had got up, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Do you want to? I feel like you should join us. And she joined us, and man. So when we started talking, and when she left, Simon and Ron, but it was Simon. He was like, I'm so glad. Simon and Patrick. He was like, I'm so glad you guys got the chance to talk with I can't even, her name starts with an L. And she was enlightened. I was taking out notes, and she reminded me of like an Angela Davis of like, we need to go after the people that's coming after us, but they doing it covertly. And I was like, girl, talk your shit.
Word.
And she was talking about like how be out in the sun, because that's the source. Be out in the sun, be in the water, that's the source. And because our bodies is made of water, X, Y, Z. I was like, yo, educate. See, and that's attractive too. Just like off top, like that's attractive.
Of course.
Like spiritually inclined and intellectually inclined, and just doing the right things for humanity. Like, and not for like, oh, let me film myself giving money to a homeless person. Like that's whack. It's beautiful, but it's whack, because then there's this sense of like, look at me. It's like, no, do it because it's the divine right thing to do. You know, so it makes me going back to what we were talking about just a moment ago of like, what is it that these elitist, globalist, X, Y, and Z people are trying to keep us away from? And I think it is the divine understanding of to me, of godness. You know what I mean? Like Common talks a lot about you know, the divine spirituality. I love his music, man.
Sure. Yeah.
And so he talks about like, yo,
Common's incredible, bro.
Peace to the gods, man. I'm like, yo, what? I was like, but now I get it now. Especially when you.
What was the phrase that you said?
Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods.
Because like, so even my guy DeVoe was even putting this on as like, he had said something that I had already started kind of picking up, being taught from certain family members, but it was just like that spirituality is the number one thing of everything. And then so it was like, if we are made in God's image, prime example, DeVoe told me the other day, if you look into the Bible, right? If you look into the Bible, in Genesis, it talks about like in the beginning, God created the earth, and He saw that you know, we need to till the world, created the land because it was made of water. This is water. That's a whole other thing. Like this is just water. Like that's water, and because it's a reflection. I was reading, I don't know. But, and he said, well, let us make man in our own image. And then whenever the serpent had came into the picture and he was talking to Eve, he was like, well, he don't want you to eat the fruit because then you will have knowledge of like God. And he just said something that was so dope to me. He was like, how can somebody tempt you into doing something that you already are? We were already made in God's image. And so he deceived her into thinking that she wasn't already in God's image with the knowledge and everything, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So then when, you know,
that shit's happening all over the planet
all
today.
over the planet. It's like you're not who you think you are, or you're not.
You're so much more than you've been told that you are.
You're right. The blueprint that we was given at birth to condition to go through and to build is not ours. Like we need to remove that blueprint and find our divine blueprint.
Definitely.
And that's what I think is what they're trying to keep us away from.
Makes sense. This is another reason why I'm such a fan of personal development, because like you're talking about, I feel like we all have a divine nature. Like people say everyone has a spark of the divine within them. Whatever language we want to put on it, I feel like we all have access to spirit.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I've really enjoyed from studying personal development over time is, like we're talking about, connecting with our enthusiasm, connecting with our relationship with spirit, and how we naturally want to show up in the world, how we can show up as our highest self, walk our highest path, etc. in the world. one of the things that I really love about personal development is this idea of getting clear on what it is that you're wanting to create. I feel like creation is a divine thing as well, and I feel like if we can get clear on that, that can take us to a certain milestone such that, and people say like, so say you have like XYZ goal, you like set your goal and you're like doing your work to like move towards it on a daily basis, manifesting it, feeling it, like getting the universe to work with you to, to realize your goal or manifest it, reveal your goal here in the...
To make it exist.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We... at some point we'll get to that goal, but I love this idea as well that people say that a goal is not about what you get, it's about who you become. And so I feel like it's very much about this process of closing the gap between like who I am today and my highest self, and just that gradual process of like, getting clear on what we want to create, going through that process and kind of like becoming more of who we are, becoming more of who our real nature is. And I love that orientation in the world, because I feel like those, like whatever we really want to create, I feel like that's an honest desire that comes to us from a higher part of ourselves. And so then it's like you're working directly with the source of creation, essentially, as opposed to like listening to the news or the billboards or any of these things that don't necessarily have our best interest in mind, or at least, or at the worst, are actively working to against us.
Oh man, dude.
So like fuck that, but staying in tune with that vision and that inspiration and that calling and like that line of communication and that path or that stream, of how we can move through the world. Like I really rock with that, and I'm just trying to do that in the best way that I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I appreciate that so much, man. Because I love what you say to get clarity on what you're supposed to do. Is that what you said?
Yeah, what we desire to create is some of the language that
get clarity of what we desire to create. And when I heard you say that, my initial thoughts that went off was the fact that I appreciate that you have not said anything about fame or fortune, because a lot of people create something for recognition. And I say that's not a good.
Sure.
It's cool. Like I respect the fact that you create something that you feel should exist. I respect that. I don't, and never have really respected the fact that people want to create something just to make money. I get that we need money to eat and survive in this institutional system. But I appreciate.
I love that you caveat it as well with this institutional system. I have some other thoughts.
You know what I mean? Because if we want to take money away, the form of currency, so we can't plant any fruits and vegetables and still survive. It has to be our existence and our character and liability resides on paper with green ink.
I hear you.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about this earth though?
Yeah, you feel me? Like, what about this? What about the naturalness? Yeah. Come on, man. So, but it's, and I love that you did talk about fame and fortune. And I love when you said to gain clarity on what it is that I'm supposed to create. And that made me think about, and I don't know if we talked about it when we was at Oprah, but it made me think about how people, generations, decades, even not millennia ago, created art that shifted the way humanity experienced life. Like be it that it was the Sixteen Chapels, be it that it was certain sculptures, be it that it was poetry, or Shakespeare, or anything along those lines, that or speeches that moved people to live differently and to be reflective, like stuff like that. That to me is art, and dude, that to me is art. Like,
I hear you. Yeah.
There's when you dedicate yourself to something that is for the betterment of humanity, not for the not for the self-absorption of me. That's why I don't like this brand stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be a brand. It's like, I hear what you're saying, but like, do you not see what we are going through as a people? Mm-hmm. You still want to sell your product? Mm-hmm. You still want to sell your service? But you don't want to see what we're going through as a people? Mm-hmm. How can we change that? Mm-hmm. Do that. That's stuff that I think about.
Yeah.
You know?
I was talking with my friend Ray about this. Have you met Ray? She's a singer-songwriter. She played.
After the poem.
I was talking with her recently, and she was saying something similar about brand. Like, it's an icky word, like, generally speaking.
Yes.
I don't know if you follow Gary Vee at all.
Yeah.
But I love how he talks about brand in terms of just brand is reputation. Like,
yes.
So Ray and I were talking about, like, connecting with your inner child and creating from being connected with your inner child in terms of play, fun, like these like very natural, radiant qualities. And I was basically feeling like, if you can create your reputation around expressing that essence of your inner child, like and reputation, I feel like is inherently like long form, like over time. You know,
absolutely.
Like you don't get a reputation for one thing one time. You get a reputation for showing up in a certain way consistently over a period of time. And so if you're showing up, expressing your inner child, finding ways to play, finding ways to shine that light, whatever that is for you, then that's a great way to then build a brand, form that reputation based on something like authentic and real. And so I say that just in relation to, it's like, I don't want to, just sell, like, I don't know, like, whatever. I don't want to sell something meaningless. I don't want to participate in just shallow, endless consumerism.
Right.
I want to create something meaningful and real that's creating, I feel like, we're on the same page, healing transformation in the best way that I can.
Yes, man. Like, dude, like, I appreciate you just coming by, bro, and just vibing with me.
Likewise.
Because it's
good to be here.
It's
good to be with you. Jeremy, you're the man.
Dude, no, you know, and this is what I was going to say. To be able to, I've heard about this, but I've always wanted to experience it. Was to live in or on a commune where people, they look after each other, they love on each other. We live off the resources of the earth. We do what we love. We ain't gotta worry about trying to exist in an institutionalized system that wants to control us, destroy us, and utilize us. Like, and it's also, I feel like living in the commune, it's you do the things that you feel the most enthusiastic about. You know, because there's space for that, because that commune creates a space for that. And I keep saying commune because I don't know nothing about it other than like what I've seen in glimpses. But essentially what I'm getting at is like being able to be in a space with people that you love, and that love you back. Yeah. And because that's important.
And respect your boundaries.
right. Like, I love you to respect your boundaries. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? And
actually love you.
Yes. Not just be like, I kind of love you. Like, man, like, I want this to continue.
I love you until you don't do what I want. I don't love you anymore.
Then it's a wrap. He's like, you trying to go back to the institutionalized system? But it's because it's like being in those spaces where you can play. That also helps with our well-being of longevity of life. To play and to love and to make love. A lot of people have been conditioned to look at sex bad. Yeah, bro. Sure. Sex is
which is a real mindfuck.
Yes, it is.
It's like we need to do this for so many different reasons.
Yes,
but we're not supposed to do this. Like that's going to create an inner conflict.
And they know that. Like the people. Confucius said, "Those who control the narrative, I think, control the people," or something like that.
Sure.
And it's like propaganda. You know what I mean? So we've been told like, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, I get ethical sex, of course, hands down. Ethical, sane, and safe or something like that. But it's like sex is there's a beautiful connection to spirituality, as well as creativity is a beautiful connection to spirituality. And so
totally,
I think it has to coexist, man, because I'm reading a lot of stuff, man, about sex, sensuality, pleasure, therapy, joy, all together. And
are you familiar with Esther Perel's work?
Esther Perel?
Esther Perel. She's amazing on relationships, sexuality, like eroticism. And the way that she talks about the erotic is in terms of like the life force. It's like the sense of aliveness, the sense of vitality, and to me that's directly related with like the chi, the prana, our relationship with spirit, with enthusiasm, excitement, higher states. Like, and
I have not heard about her, but I definitely want to
send me the
Okay.
So I got to send you Michael Bernard Beck with Esther Perel.
Yes, please. Because I hit you up with like can you send me those references of those books, man?
Yes, indeed.
Because man, I was reading this book called Therapy, Nudity, and Joy, and it's heavily researched. And it's this woman who's done this research with so many different people who live the lifestyle of those who are super sensual, and understanding of the nudity, and then the research of like where things changed and shifted. Colonization fucked up a lot of things.
No doubt.
Like,
no doubt.
And in the teachings.
That's a bar too, bro. That's a bar too.
Like,
colonization fucked up a lot of things.
Damn, you know what I mean? So then it makes you think, why? Why are all these things that we crave, desire, and that we know, and then there's this internal war, battle, conflict of, I want to do this, but I'm told that I shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And then if you pay attention to your body, we make a condition like, oh, well, this is nervous. It's like, no, this is me saying like yes, or this is me saying no. Paying attention to the body, and man, I am so blown away by how deceitful and how sly we've been bamboozled. And then the yearning and the thirst for how do we leave what we know we was taught wrong to attach ourselves to liberation of self, liberation of love, liberation to love, and all these things. How do we, because remember we were beginning to talk about healing the last time. And we were talking about feminine energy and how the world needs more healing and things along those lines. Like, how does that look for you?
One of the immediate things that comes to my mind is that Buckminster Fuller quote that I'm probably going to mess up, but it's the essence of it is basically like essentially, if you don't like the existing system, focus all of your energy on creating a new, better system that makes the old system obsolete. So kind of like orienting towards creation and allowing the old systems to dissipate. I feel like we are very much in that process right now, where there are a lot of old systems that are not going to work for the next stage of us as a human family operating in the world. And so those are going to dissolve. Like we see that not only with the internet and with like open source technology, but also with blockchain and with a lot of the technologies that are evolving. I feel like there's definitely an element of needing to reconnect with like indigenous wisdom traditions, and incorporate. Man, there's this phrase "ancient future." I don't know if you're familiar.
No, that makes sense though.
I've heard it in a number of different places, and I feel like that ancient future shit is the next wave, or it's the wave that's like arising right now. And you're talking about like living on a commune, living with the land. I feel like there's this beautiful opportunity that we have to create a way of being in the world where we're using the amazing technology that we have access to in harmony with Earth.
Yes.
As opposed to continuing this old paradigm of just raping and pillaging the Earth and the people and all life for some, without having any sensitivity,
Well, and I dig that, and I love that, the universal family, the family, absolutely. Why do you think that, I don't even want to say that it has to happen, the pillaging of the pillaging, the raping, and the conquering, because that was something that was introduced to people by people, or was it? Or was it anything outside of the physical?
One of the things that comes to mind for me, I'm listening to this audiobook right now called I think it's called the Science of Self-Empowerment. I think that's what it's called. It's by this guy Greg Braden. I don't know if you're familiar with Greg Braden.
I read a book called The Science of the Mind.
What is it?
The Science of the Mind.
Science of the Mind. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Man, yes, so many good things. But one of the things that Greg Braden talks about in this book is this old story that's basically based on the worldview that only humans in a very limited, and this is the worldview. I disagree with this worldview, but it's saying that only humans in certain forms of life are alive. Therefore, the universe around us is something to be exploited and taken from, because it's all dead. It's all in unliving universe out there, and humans are the only living things. So go exploit and take everything from the natural world for your own use. That's the worldview that a lot of the Western world has been operating on for hundreds of years at this point. I think that's some bullshit. And conversely, there's this view that we live in a living universe, that all of the universe is alive. I don't know if you know Sadhguru at all, but I always think about him saying, this is a living cosmos, and it's inwardly and outwardly, life permeates all things, and I feel that in a big way, and I feel that's true, that's the truth, and that worldview puts us in relationship to all of the rest of life as more as a living thing, as something that we interact with in a more harmonious, kind of collaborative way, as opposed to the prior way. But he was basically just breaking down how prevalent that worldview has been in our society over the past at least few hundred years.
Yeah, and you think about the people, their well-being, you know what I mean? Just it's frustrating to think about, man. And I keep thinking to myself, how long are you going to continue to live this life knowing the information that you know? How long are you going to keep on going with it? This is a bad relationship. You feel me? You know that it's not right. You know that you're not happy being in this relationship with this person.
I feel you. Yeah.
And you want something different because you know that there is something better. You feel it. You feel being in this relationship is toxic. You're unhappy. You're miserable. But it's giving you something that you think that you need because you've been told that you need this.
Sure.
And on the other side of that, jumping out of it, is everything that's been waiting for you. Bro.
Yeah. I hear you. Is there a specific example that comes to mind, or are there multiple specific examples?
I think there's multiple, but the thing that I keep thinking about, that I've thought about for as a child, life is supposed to be playful. It's not supposed to be tied to this occupation.
Right. Yeah.
That's geared towards get as much money as you possibly can, keep the rich rich and the poor. Those types of things, man, has mind boggled me.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, and then it was so much when people talk about how can we end world hunger and poverty, and it's we could have been ended it. We've been conditioned to want more because of capitalism, because of Western systemic beliefs. We try to be kind and loving, but we have a misconstrued idea of love. And we have a misconstrued idea of humanity and unity.
Yeah, I feel like most people don't even think about humanity and unity on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I was out here like, heal the world. And I feel like that's not the norm.
No, there's no space for
operate.
There's no mental space for that.
Yeah. Makes sense. And I appreciate what you're saying about this conditioning that we're exposed to.
Yeah.
From the time that we're born, until present day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big force, and it that's. I feel like that's the thing that drives me as well. Is like having some amount of awareness that I've been, for whatever reason, able to gather from teachers and from different things and happenstance, and I feel like lucky enough to have a certain amount of information that has been helpful to me that I feel like I can help more people with.
Absolutely.
It's like speaking to this, like how when when you turn on the TV or like whatever it is, there's a lot of disempowering information that's constantly just hitting people's subconscious and hitting people's mind. It's like that drives me to want to go even harder to try to spread anything that will be uplifting, empowering, supportive, positive, inspiring, etc.
And that is absolutely threatening. That is threatening because it begins to poke holes. It begins to untie. It begins to loosen bolts on the machine that is supposedly has worked this long.
Sure. Yeah. And there, like when I think about where we are today, I feel like in the Western world, there are certain things that are nice. Like we have, a lot of physical abundance in a way that hasn't existed, over the past. I mean, I don't know, caveat, like if you're living directly in nature, like you have probably a lot more abundance in a different way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's how I feel. But I feel like there are pros and cons. So like I talked about this with one of my friends. This guy is named Gareth. He's also for my day job, I do digital marketing, and the company that I work with is called. This is a whole thing. The company is called Magic. The co-founders are Gareth and Marcus. Gareth, I've spoken with about this idea a little bit, in that the like fossil fuels as this tremendously important thing, and this tremendously kind of like central thing, I guess, in the world today.
Yeah,
it has played a huge part in getting us here. It's like plastic is used in so many different things that we use, and obviously like fuel and energy and all these things. And it's like fossil fuels have played a role in getting us to where we are here in terms of like a lot of the like luxuries that we have access to today. And now it's time to shift to clean energy and to clean resources. And so, I'm like, I feel like there's so many different layers to all of this, but what I'm wanting to do is try to find the good in what is the good in anything, the good in what is present, whether it's because I feel like it's very easy for me to think about fossil fuels as a negative thing that's destroying the planet. That's people are like strip mining, different having wars over like all. There's all this negativity around it. And what I'm also wanting to do is like definitely not definitely respecting and understanding and empathizing all the bullshit that's going on. And and having love for the people that are affected by and for the environments and the ecosystems and, you know, all of these different things.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, wanting to kind of like zoom out where possible and respect the good that has been done while also leaving that old chapter behind. Like, you know, I could think about similarly with like the Industrial Revolution or with, you know, just any technology that we've used over time, like trying to find the good, identify the good, appreciate that, and then still like let this thing go when it's time to move on to something else. And yeah. I'm trying to remember what I was originally like bringing that back to, but yeah, definitely like wanting to like respect what has been useful and helpful to people, to people over time, and then still creating new, better systems that don't have the same like flaws and bullshit that these current systems and past systems do.
So you work in digital marketing, and you said the two owners in fossil fuels.
So that's just a conversation that I've had with Gareth around fossil fuels in terms of like that perspective of like seeing what the benefit has been and the ways that things have served us throughout time, and then also acknowledging that it's time to move on to something new and something better. So we don't, we're not like marketing like Exxon or, you know, some shit like that.
Yeah, okay.
But it's more of just like a like side conversation of like looking at the current system, and I guess like fossil fuels would even be like a microcosm of the larger system at whole, like looking at the current system and seeing like what has been beneficial and what's been negative, taking the good and wanting to leave the bad. And, continue like
it's like an audit.
And
a healthy audit.
And wanting to, that energy of creating a better system is massive. Also, you know, is like,
it's man, like, because life could. I think life. How I'm observing, learning, writing, documenting the human condition. And, you know, in the universal, I observe. It's so much to learn. Like I think that's what I just want to do. I want to experience and experiment life. You know, I don't want to be tied to things that are not serving me to be my natural divine self. And that's the thing. That's because there's a decision that has to be made every day. Not just all right. Well, I'm gonna leave my job. I'm gonna leave this society. That's a decision that you have to make every day to realize, well, what is my nature? Who am I at my nature, at my core, and what makes me feel the most divine, the most enthusiastic, the most in tune, in touch with God as I serve through this channel, and doing that every day.
Yes.
Like, man, and that's to not do that and to not have the time to even mentally make space to do that, to hear from your heart, to hear from your gut. There's three brains. DeVoe was like, there's three brains: the mind, the heart, and the gut, which is something I also was reading about too. It's like, okay, so how do you make space and time for that? You know, if you don't make space by what you eat, you can't necessarily hear or feel. You can feel it, but there's not a clear communication with the gut. You know, and then the heart, and then the brain. These are things I'm just now. Not that I'm just now. I'm remembering that is already within me, because I'm detaching myself away from that which is not helping me to be of my higher self, to be in alignment with my higher self and have much more communication with my higher self. You know, and so it's cause like, man, I don't
good work.
Thank you, man. You know, like, but that's because I think it's divine. Like,
I agree.
The people that I've met even before leaving Fort Worth, there were just things that was in my path. But then when I got here, I still felt myself trying to go against this current, trying to be something that I wasn't. And so when I mentioned earlier about like when you just be yourself, you will experience everything that was meant for you to experience, meant for you to have, meant for you to encounter. Because when I saw you rapping and doing your thing, and then but it was what you was rapping about for me. I was like, oh, that's divine. Because I love and just kind of like kind of turning it. And also I want to let you know it's 3:00. I know you said you got to be out there by 4. I don't know if you need to
around. I'm flexible. Just got some things a little bit later.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because I can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm vibing too, bro.
This is so good.
Like when you.
And I'm so happy we're recording this stuff.
Yes, bro. Like when you was rapping, and then I went to look at some of your videos on YouTube. I was like, dude, I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm drawn to this guy. One, because of if you're rapping about something, that means that for the most part, true authenticity is in you. And I felt that. You know what I mean? So like it was like the mirror. And so when I went to listen to your music, I was like, oh, this is serious. This is real, genuine. And so I was like, how can I serve Azlon? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And there was
appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, and there was people that I met at
and likewise, please continue to let me know how I can support you.
Dude, this conversation is just like because so many people was telling me like, yo, you need the podcast. You need the podcast. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get these mics.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Boom, here it is.
Sitting on the floor is interesting, But
high five. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
We out here. You know what I mean? We gonna figure out what's it called.
I love it.
There's
it's a beautiful day.
Because I think I can upload this to Anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably put it on YouTube, but man, yeah. So when I heard your music, and I was like, okay, I want to continue to songwrite. I want to really continue to be in a space to like help ideate visual concepts. Because a lot of people are talking about music videos, and a lot of people are talking about like cinematic stuff and da. And like to me, it's just like, because I've done this before. Like I've once. Let me be clear, once. And I loved the feeling to be able to have walk with these creatives for the time that we walked together, and the impact that it left on people from the music, from the lyrics, from the ideation and the narrative, individual narrative that we wanted to create. Like I was like, y'all, we started from ground zero and it went here. And yeah, like, who do you do music videos, man? Like,
some I've done. I've shot a lot of my own really bad music videos, and like I say, I'm just about like doing the thing, and then learning as I go.
Yeah.
My friend Nick Costello, he goes by Nick the Sick. He produces, and we just shot a music video a little while ago. Should be coming out pretty soon. He crushed it, man. He also made the beat that the song is on. So he made the beat. Basically shot the video, edited the video.
Yeah.
So that one will be coming out soon. I want to work more with him, but long story short, like I've done some music videos and I want to do a lot more. Like I don't know if I've shared with you the main project that I'm working on right now is basically to produce and release 100 songs. So like similarly, in terms of volume, I want to do a bunch of music videos as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. I want to go back.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing music now?
I guess since I was like 11. I'm 28 now, so like 17 years or so.
Yeah. how has your experience been with other creatives?
Good.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to like energy.
Yeah.
So like if I vibe with the person, then we normally vibe musically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you collaborate with other artists and like do features and whatnot?
I'm trying to think if like when the last time. I haven't done a feature in a minute because I feel like I've been very. So I produce as well. So I like basically like generally take shit from A to Z myself, and so I've been very much in this like this kind of like tunnel of just like building. But I do love collaborating with other people. I haven't done features on other people's stuff in a minute. I have done a few. And then I've collaborated with other producers and other musicians. I used to play in this band called Modal. That was a really fun band. It was like basically like a jazz band. It was like drums, bass, keys, like trumpet, and then I was rhyming over it, and it was fun. It was vibes.
It sounds like it.
It was good. It was good.
That jazzy. I don't know. I gotta send you some. I don't know. I know I sent you. I think I sent you like screen recordings of the stuff that I don't know. I can't remember, but like you tagged me in Twitter on some stuff. No. This is wait actually, so she can hear it.
Yeah.
Yo, peace. I'm recording right now.
Oh, are you? Are you doing your podcast?
I'm doing my podcast. This is my guy Azlon.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you? I think I met you yesterday. Are you ready?
No, that's not Patrick.
No, different person. But it's good to meet you.
Shout out to Patrick. Austin, Texas Food Company.
Understood.
Okay. Cool.
Can I call you back? You look great.
Yeah. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
You're out of the shower. I kind of showered today.
Oh. No, Jack. Can I call you back in an hour or so?
Yeah. I'm at work right now, but
I gotta
I'll call you on my next break. Huh?
Okay, cool. That'd be dope.
All right. Have a good time.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Man.
She seems sweet.
She legit is like the sweetest person I met in a very long time, actually.
Heck yeah.
Man. Yeah, we probably gotta rap about that off.
Yeah, definitely.
I love her energy, like for real. Like she's made so much space for me. You know what I mean? Like she's attentive. If she was emotionally in the space to be open to more than friends, man, in a heartbeat, you know, because I'm selective. I've become more selective.
Good call.
You know what I'm saying?
Good call. That's important.
Like, but seeing her, man, is yeah.
Do y'all talk a lot?
We do.
Calling you on her lunch break, yeah?
Yeah, we do.
It seems like there's a connection there.
Yeah, man, and it's she's
just after 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Yeah, she. So we connected through this conference of user experience. So what I do for work is I'm a brand strategist at an advertising agency. It's my first time.
Hell yeah.
I'm learning a lot and growing and being a student and whatnot. And so, but I'm also have a little bit of a background in user experience research. And so she was on this conference call and she was in my group that I didn't know because her camera was off. But like I'm over here, my camera's on. I'm like, yo, what's going on, everybody? So what we doing? You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, just my energy. And so she had connected with me, vibing, bro. Like just chilling. And,
love it.
And so she had connected with me on LinkedIn. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm just helpful, right? I'm that guy that's like, yeah. So I'm a part of this group. I'm a part of this email group. I'm a part of, X, Y, Z. Just trying to share those resources, serve, right?
Love it.
And so she was like, we had got to this point where I was like, yo, do you want to jump on a call real quick and just, just say hello and da-da-da? She's like, yeah, dude, jumped on a call.
No doubt.
Jumped on a call, and when I saw her, I was like, oh man,
dear God,
dude, I was like, no, this is nah, and when I like absolutely beautiful, like physically first. I was like, okay, oh, you're a beautiful woman, but then as I began to learn more about her, and with her becoming more vulnerable and all these things, and sharing the things that she shared, I was like, you're an incredible human being. Like your spirit, and it's frustrating though, G, because it's like it's frustrating because I don't want to mess up something.
I feel you.
That is not, if it's not supposed to be romantic. I need to clearly see that and understand that, so that way I'm not moving romantically. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Yeah, for sure. Have you all talked about that at all?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like I started getting to the point because she would mention certain things about like just with me being a listener and asking certain questions and supporting her in the X, Y, Z. And I'm like, yeah, because I care about you. And then it started to get deeper of like, I care about you because of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you look great. Yeah, woo woo. But the
deeper layers.
The deeper layers, man. Like,
I rock with. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yes, like.
Yeah.
You know,
I would say the spirit. Yeah.
Bruh, all the places. All the most beautiful places in the world, like she deserves flowers from all those places.
Bro, oh my God.
You feel me? Like,
I think I just fell in love with her. That's incredible.
Yo, like, I mean, now there's so many people that I've met. There's so many people that I've met, and
it's beautiful. Yeah.
And they all do, man. We all do. We all deserve these beautiful places. These beautiful flowers from these beautiful places in the world, man. But she's just been the one that's been the most present for me, And again, she's always made space, and she continues to make space, and she takes an interest in me, and that is important to me because I take an interest in her.
Totally.
Even if my feelings, may be what they are now. The deeper level for me is that I respect you and appreciate you as a person, more importantly. Even if it's like, I love you, but I don't love you like that.
I so appreciate you saying this. I feel very similarly in my relationships as well, and with the people that I meet. And I feel like that's so valuable. And I feel like similarly, that's not the way that everyone thinks about things. And I just want to like big up you for taking that disposition. I feel like it's so beautiful and powerful and valuable and healing. Again, like it's big and it's not always easy to do.
Hell no,
because we got all kinds of forces.
Yes, it's like,
but
how you gonna go after this when they don't even understand the magnitude of what you present, what you possess as a spirit being. They're not there capacity wise. To appreciate someone like that person, and it's like I'm beginning to understand and like, yo, like, yes, you know what I'm saying, like, yes, you, I will grow with you, learn you, observe you, study you, you know what I'm saying, to help you find more ways to love yourself, to discover yourself, not change you. Like I don't look at love like that. You know what I'm saying? Like love is to help someone else learn to love themselves. You know what I'm saying? To nourish themselves while also, the same thing. So it's a harmonious.
It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, you feel me?
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Like it's not about changing people.
Yeah, and it's really interesting what you say as well around like the way that I'm interpreting what you're saying is that you feel resonance with her, you feel a lot of love for her in a lot of different ways. I would say like we're talking about primarily almost like heart-based love, like as opposed to strictly just sexual love, you know. So you're like appreciating her as a person, you appreciate who she is, her emotions, her thoughts, her views, her perspectives, her journey. Like you know, you appreciate these many elements of her, and yeah, it's so interesting. Like getting to appreciate that and getting to engage in that, and then also. Yeah, it's so interesting as well. Like I don't know where you're at in your life. In my life, like I was saying, I just got out of a like long-term relationship a few months ago. And so I'm at a place where, and there have been other things as well, but I'm at a place now where I know that I need to be single. Like that's very clear to me in my life. And then like we can talk about that as well as a separate thing. But if you're in a place where you're like, okay, like I would like to be in a relationship, you know, I would like to be in a romantic, if you're in that space of looking for that either actively or passively, or, you know, if you have that kind of openness, then yeah, that is interesting, you know, like, and then you're saying like, if she could be in an emotional place where she could be open to a relationship as well, like, it's super curious, you know, considering how the beyond like almost like the platonic love, how that romantic love could potentially line up, and just all of those different elements of what's going on there is so fascinating and so interesting.
Because when you say that, to me, what I kind of begin to see is like having to, one of the biggest elements going into dealing with her in this relationship is being sensitive. You know what I mean? Like, if she wants me as a friend, absolutely. Like, hands down, you got me. If she wants me romantically, hands down, you got me. Either way, you know, and I love
that's
that
beautiful. That's powerful. I don't know if that's easy for you, but for me, that's like, there's like a tension between the two a little bit, but fundamentally I agree, because ultimately, like I feel like you're expressing, I just want what's best for everyone involved.
Exactly,
you know?
and I think that goes back to you learning and knowing who you are, and I think what you had said a moment ago that made me think about, like I'm drawn, like when you can just love someone for who they are, not just physically and sexually, but like just their whole well-being. And to me, it's because of they know who they are for the most part. You know, they don't try to be something that they're not. They're not trying to you know, be who I think I want them to be. You know, and it's the same form, but it's just you know, it is a little tension, but I think that's a good tension, because it makes me present. It makes me try to decipher clarity. You know what I mean? Like, so why are you frustrated? Like, dude, literally last night I started writing because there was also someone else, you know, who's a musician who I think who's refreshing. You know what I mean? And but
I love that word.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's refreshing. It is, and it's not a matter of what people would call being a player. Like, to me, is I'm an experiencer, and I'm trying to see what is for me, and knowing that I own nothing. I own nothing.
Totally. Yeah.
Even being in a relationship, I don't, none of that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm grateful for the presence that you've given me. To be in your presence, I'm grateful for that. Because you could be with someone else. Your presence could be shared with someone else, but you choose to be with me. So that's why, like, anytime that she called or text or because she's doing the same thing, she's saying that, like, I could be, well, at least I would think, that I could be hanging out with someone else or giving my time and attention to someone else, but I'm choosing to share it with you. So that says a lot. There's a connection there, and in a mutual respect. And the tension in trying to gain clarity is it's helping me to see I do desire a deep connection with someone, but why? And it's because there's things that I desire that helps me navigate through this life. You know, helps me understand myself more, helps me grow and evolve. And not just anybody can do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Yes, sir.
not anybody can do that, man. And so she's been it blows my mind, bro, because like I'm thinking to myself, you could be, and she does, right? She goes out, she does her thing, and I advocate for that because I believe there's this balance between closeness and space. You're your own individual.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
if you feel constricted, then that's very draining.
Right. Like to me, it is all about how can I best water you to grow? Because that's what it's about. How can I help you evolve? Not change you. Because to change is to be something totally different from the planted seed. So that means I don't have to dig up into the soil, cut off, and then try to hope and put you into something that I think is best for you and think that you're going to grow.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
How can I...
Not that.
Not that. How can I help you grow from where you are into what you're supposed to be? Damn, that's deep, though. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so good. It's so... Man, I want to celebrate you as well, man, because I feel like you're so special in the way that you think, in the way that you love people, in like the... I want to say like the purity of heart that you're bringing to your relationships, the goodness, the positive intention, etc. Like I just want to celebrate you for showing up in that way in your life to the people that you interact with. Good work, man.
Thank you, man.
It is not necessarily easy, and it is much needed in the world, man. So celebrating you.
I appreciate it, and I got to be honest. There's been many a times, man, where it has not been the best.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and that's helped me learn that I'm fighting against something. I'm fighting against this idea of should I be this guy to a woman or to these women? Should I approach a woman this way and And it's like, nah. Anytime, going back to what we said earlier, anytime that you are being something that is not who you really are, you will not experience what the universe has for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like at least that's what I think. That's what I'm observing.
I feel that way as well. Yeah, and I feel like on a very I feel like in a bigger way. I feel like that's true, and then also in a very like direct way. Like if you're. When we're I'm just yes.
I feel that.
I don't need to create an example. I agree.
No. I would love it.
I agree for sure.
Because, bro, it's
bro, and then I'll just extend on what you're saying. When we are acting in our authenticity, then like not only do we get to have conversations like this, but we get to connect with other people who are on a similar wavelength and vibration, and like. That's so energizing. That's so beautiful. That's so magical. Like there's a big magic there, and I'm trying to flow that direction. You know,
100%. Like why not? Like why not?
Yeah.
Ooh, bro, it's divine. It's all divine. It's all divine. Like, But we were talking about music and you collaborating with other artists, features. You want to make 100 songs and to do the equivalent with music videos.
Yeah, or something similar. The 100 songs is a very explicit goal that I have right now, and the music videos are like such a big part of everything as well. So maybe for some of the best songs or the most popular songs, do music videos for those or something like that. I just have more of like a vague desire to do a bunch of music videos. As many ill music videos as I can would be ideal, you know? And I'll just continue seeing what that looks like as I move forward. But it's very much from the spirit of wanting to master my craft, and become the best that I can at this thing, and quantity of work, of repetitions is a big part of that.
Absolutely. You put me to mind. Some of the things that you say puts me in the mind of Big Crit. I don't know if you Big Crit.
Oh, Big Crit.
Yeah. He did a tiny desk, and I had never seen anybody else do that. And I don't know if it's like a Southern thing, but I know so many people do it. But they record their family members as they were younger or just growing up throughout life to hold on to those time capsules. You know what I mean? And he had played it on his tiny desk. But he was talking about how he wanted to sing, but he wanted to rap. And when you were talking about you wanted to sing, you wanted to master that. And I was just like, man, that just sounds like, like a true artist. It's if you're in the domain of what you enjoy doing, what makes you feel the most alive, what gives you the enthusiasm. Everything else within that domain that is considered or viewed as a challenge is something that is worth trying to tackle, as opposed to it being outside of that domain, where there's no sense of like, I want to do this. Yeah, why would I want to do that? Like, that's stupid. Like,
if I'm that mountain, I'm not climbing this mountain.
In this one, I'm definitely wanting to scale this mug. You know what I mean?
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? If I scrape my knee, that's all right.
Essence. Let's
go. So I mean, I think I commend you for identifying that and not allowing for a certain moments on your journey to sway you and deter you from mastering the craft. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Because so many people can get derailed, and I think it's very important because at a young age, when the mind is still developing and the heart is so pure and so in love with life, and it's like, it's like, and so and I hope that you continue to find that momentum and embrace that momentum.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I appreciate it.
Because I feel like one of the biggest things for me is I love talking to people and I love storytelling. And
hell yeah.
And doing the poetry, I love doing the poetry. And really the poetry is just me just sharing like the things that like I'm writing about, that I'm thinking about. And then I really want to help you heal the world, heal your immediate interactions with people, because I feel the same way.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Amen. I hope.
You know what I mean? Because nothing else really matters, man. Like the guru guy that you mentioned, Sadhguru. He said, and I know this. He said there was one day we were going to die, which to me, I'm beginning to understand it's the beginning of life. That we gain nothing, we lose nothing, but we are going to die. So be present. Do good stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
agreed 1,000%, man. I feel that way deeply.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm very unusual in that I, like, from a relatively young age, have thought about like, how do I want to spend my life?
Yes.
And so it's based on these similar essence, in essence similar to what you're describing.
Absolutely.
It's like, let's use this time well.
Like
that we have.
Cause we've been given a blueprint, and all we know is this blueprint. So the ideas and goals for our life is contingent. Is birthed through this blueprint. But if we were to think outside of the blueprint and create our own blueprint of like, what kind of life do I want to live?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's it. Yeah, but it's so interesting. I feel like I'm so conditioned at this point. When you say blueprint, I immediately think like, are you talking about the divine blueprint or the like man-made blueprint? And it sounds like you're referring to the man-made blueprint. Mm-hmm. And like we were talking about, I'm like, let's get this shit out of here.
Yes.
Let's go with the divine blueprint. Catch that inspiration, catch that vision,
yes,
go
sir.
in
Yes,
and
sir. Create.
Absolutely.
Like to be given to be created and then given the opportunity to experience life the way that the divine creator created us to experience life is life. The original blueprint.
Yeah.
The blueprint that we've been bamboozled to coexist in.
The knockoff.
The knockoff is the most disrespectful way to live.
Yeah.
Because if you want quality, you're not gonna get the knockoff. You know, like
yeah, dude,
yeah, man.
There's this quote. One of the books that was really helpful to me early on was this book called Esoteric Mind Power by this guy named Vernon Howard, and one of the quotes in that book is. Society's task is to make you become a machine. Your task is to refuse to become one.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn. You know, I feel that way. You know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So like,
anybody with common sense will see that.
Yeah.
You know, anyone that is willing to think. They don't want you to think, obviously. Either one is going to be hard work.
Machines don't need to think.
They just need to do. They need to just make sure that they do what we ask them to do so that way we can be comfortable living our life.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Man, I really think, man, like the communal life is going to be my thing.
Word.
Yeah. You know, like, because I'm tired.
Could be good.
Yeah, I'm tired of coming across people, or I don't like working in a space, in any institution, anything within this blueprint thus far, that human connection is not human connection. Even though it's said, it's advocated, it's supposedly presented, it's not genuine, true, divine human connection. It's the human connection through the blueprint of a knockoff.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, so it's like.
So, man, I'm super inspired. You're familiar with the whole like digital nomad kind of thing?
Yeah.
I feel like there are elements of that can be really advantageous to what you're describing. Like,
would love it.
You know, like growing the UX skills and then applying those to like conscious organizations around the world. I feel like that could put you in a lot of because that's kind of what magic is like. It's using this company that I work with. It is using digital marketing to grow like conscious brands around the world and trying to use that tool to grow good, beautiful things in the world. And so I feel like similarly, you can take your UX and your branding knowledge and connect with entrepreneurs around the world who are working to bring beautiful, divinely inspired things into the world, and that could be a good mix of the things
that exists.
Yeah. I mean, like there are. Do you follow many of these podcasts, like School of Greatness podcast, On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty? Like,
Jay Shetty.
Yeah.
I watched something with him and Will Smith.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, I see like. As I listen to these things, I see crossovers and overlaps between a number, like I'm starting to see patterns in different things in terms of, it feels to me like there's this wave of like digital nomads, people building their personal brands, people building their business around authenticity, community, inspiration, personal development principles, coaching, health and well-being, like things of this nature. I feel like that's a wave that's arising on the planet in a big way right now. And I feel like connecting with businesses and entrepreneurs who are on that wavelength would be a lot more energizing to you, and it definitely is to me. Like before I worked with Magic, I worked with this other company, and they were not mission driven. They didn't have any real any intentional culture that they were creating. It was very just like I want to be respectful to them,
sure.
because they were
I know.
very helpful to me, and the guy who runs the place is a cool dude, but it just wasn't the same vibe as this group Magic that I get to work with now. And Magic isn't perfect, but Magic, like the group, we're doing our best to try to do this meaningful thing, and it's pros and cons and ups and downs and hills and valleys, and but it's like the North Star is there. And like that's helpful. That makes a difference.
if you know where you're going, that's a it's the same principle of like, if you know who you are, you will know how to navigate through life. You know where you're going. You may go here, you may go there, but I gotta go in this direction. That's important to me too, because I'm as a creative person, as a people person, making people feel seen is really important to me. So like on any project, like on my website, I put I come along any team project or brainstorm as a thoughtful and how can I bring the human, like the true human narrative as much as possible into this session, into this experience, on this team, on this project. And I really want to continue to do that and not try to feel like I need to be this type of worker. Like, no, I want to bring...
For sure.
Like, I'm not a title. Like, I'm a person that's trying to do good in the world. A title, they can't be... It cannot be derivative from a title, and it cannot be boxed to a title. So the title should not even have any type of significance. Like in my mind, it's like it doesn't make any sense. What I contribute is, do people feel that you care about who they are and their well-being? And that's the thing that I think. It's so frustrating. Good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when I make stuff, I try to make it to enhance the well-being of other people. Similar to what you said about your music. How can I help heal the world, cater to their well-being? How can I help? That's it. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I love it, man. I love it. The world is lucky to have you, my man.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate it, man.
I feel it's true.
Same. And I'm so happy that we connected, because it was just the chemistry, and really that conversation. I was kind of like, oh, I gotta dive into as much of this man's mind as I can, and just explore, because a lot of people don't make the space to have like deep conversations, and humanity and all these things, and so because it's they think I don't want to say that, but man, it's very refreshing. Like to me, this is I could do this all day.
Yes, bro. I need those 1,000 podcast episodes from you, my man. You're gonna have like this conversation has been so fun, and I really am enjoying this conversation, and I'm excited to have more in the future. And I feel like the nature of conversations that you will continue leading over time will be really powerful and really beautiful, and help like broadcast that healing in a big way, man. And I can feel your authentic like passion for this. Thanks. And for like this, I feel like this is also spiritual work in a big way. You know what I mean? Like being able to like tune into what we're working to tune into, there's an element of like channeling to me that feels like it is happening. Just essentially connecting with what we feel is like true and working to speak to our truth and communicate it and resonate and reverberate and amplify. Together we're vibing, and then those vibes can connect with more people. And
absolutely,
that like energy, I feel like is just so important for our world right now. And I feel like this is like a seedling, and I'm excited for the sequoia.
What is that?
It is a like redwood tree. It's like one of the biggest trees in the world.
Oh, okay. Ooh, man, peace received, man. I received all of that. Like, that's divine, and I just want to serve. I want to serve in the best way that I can, that I know that I can, and I don't want to be forced to doing something that I can't do. It's like, well, you need to go and do this. Like, nah, man. I excel at connecting with people.
That's what you think I need to do.
Right.
I know what I need to do.
I know. And that's the blueprint. That's the faulty blueprint. Like, I know what you. No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, not and because
I know what I need.
Yeah,
my heart.
Because I've taken the time. I put in the work to make space to know and to learn more about myself, and I get the most enthusiastic is whenever I can talk with people, learn them, inspire, be inspired, create, all that, man.
Yeah, man, and I feel like there are a lot of like great podcasts in the world, but I feel like I want to say like the tone and texture of what you bring into the space is really beautiful, man, and like the specific like energetic tone that you bring into the space is really is wonderful, man. And I feel like that, like I personally want to see that, like that particular thing that you're bringing amplified in the world, because I feel like it will be I said it before, but I feel like it'll be very like helpful and very healing and like man, I like this word refreshing that you used. I feel like it'll be that as well.
That's the name of it. That's the name of the podcast today, Sunday, October 17th at 3:45. Podcast is called Refreshing. It was not already taken.
Let's go.
Yo, dude, it's 3:45. Are you good?
Right on. Yeah, I should probably be wrapping up pretty soon. I think. Is there anything else that we should cover in this particular session? I feel like there are so many things that we can continue to go on about.
I mean, I think this one was very experimental and unstructured. I know so many people would be like, well, you need to have a structure. You need to like, no, this is. I love this. Like, dude, we are sitting on the floor, on a coffee table. Back is hurting, but it's dope though. Got the sunlight, the nature. See, dude, I would love to do this and not worry about, how can I do this? It's just the fact that it's happening is really cool to me. So
the energy is right, man. Again, it's like, and I'm super curious to hear more about your story and your journey, through time and things of that nature. But I feel like it's very unique. Like what you're. It's the way that I perceive it is it's the energy that you're bringing. Yeah. That's the primary thing, and we can do it here. We can do it over there. We can do it on an iPhone. We can do it with blue mics. We can do it with in a studio. Like the whatever the external environment is, I feel like is secondary to what like that energy that you're bringing through is.
Man, because I wanted to meet up at the food truck and do it at the food truck.
Sure, yeah.
Like we just chilling.
That could be fun to have Rob come in and say what's up.
Because I was talking to Zach too. I want to rap with Zach. I want to. There's so many really dope people at OPA, and. I was. It was taking a second. I think I just met Zach for the first time last week. Yeah, Zach was cool, dude. Like. Yeah, there's some beautiful people that I want to invite into the space, wherever the space is, and just rap. Is there anything that you wanna share, or let whatever you want to do?
Yeah. Man, honestly, like the thing that comes to mind for me to share right now, I just want to reaffirm this. There's this prayer that I really like, and it's just, may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom. And like, I really love that prayer, and like that's definitely a thing that I want to help amplify in the world.
You gotta say it again, bro. You gotta hit it for me one more time.
May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom.